This is Chris Kell with your Peak Fitness Counterpoint Feature of the Week. Now, the purpose of our Counterpoint feature is to look at popular ideas and exercises that have been posted on the web, in local media and popular culture, and see whether these ideas hold water and how we might be able to make them a little bit better. So the subject of our first Counterpoint feature is a recent article published in the Ledger regarding squatting. Now, squatting is one of my favorite exercises to teach clients. It's one of the primary movements that we do in daily life, and literally every movement that we do with our lower body begins with some sort of a squatting motion. When we're thinking about squatting, one of the most important things to do, one of the most important things to think about is the concept of the hip hinge. When I'm performing a squat, the first thing that I want to do is hinge my hips first, as opposed from squatting with my knees, to ensure that I'm sitting back on my heels and I'm sitting back in the chair. What we see a lot with new clients or people that kind of have knee pain or just issues with their low back is this. Squatting with the knees, leading with the knees as opposed to the low back, so we have an absence of a hip hinge. The knees come out over the toes, come forward on their toes, and as a result, we're getting a lot of loading in the knees and the ankles and the low back. Kind of manifests itself as that kind of problem. The issue that I have with this article is that it recommends a ball squat against the wall, which looks something like this. Right? So I've got a ball against my my lower back here, and this is something that has been used in rehab for years and years. The problem with this exercise is that as I'm squatting down, I'm not descending with my hips, I'm just going up and down. So I'm hinging with my knees first, not learning that hinge. So we're kind of reinforcing dysfunction with that pattern. To make this exercise a little bit better, what I would do with the stability ball was I would take the ball and use it kind of as a counterbalance. I'd hold it out here, I'd squeeze it tight, I'd tell the client to really squeeze their core, they'll feel their abs engaged, that's something that really is kind of a bonus to this, but we're using kind of our body, or all of our muscles, as opposed to just kind of our knees, and I'm just sitting back on my heels, all right? As I'm doing so, my knees are staying over my toes, I'm really using that hip hinge, and I'm working my core at the same time. To kick this up a bit, what we could do to really make this more of a core lift is we could simply get the ball against the wall here, hold in a stability ball plank, really tighten the abs, pre-fatigue this area, hold for anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds, and then go back immediately into a squat. All right. So what I'm trying to do here is once again hold the ball out, tighten my abs, use this as a counterbalance, and just really train this quality. So I'm trying to keep my abs tight, really feel the fatigue build, and by doing these two things, not only are we training the hip hinge, we're training the core along with it, so we get kind of a bang for our buck. We're getting, we're training, multiple muscles, training that hip hinge, and really getting the definition that we're looking for there. So, with that said, there are a million types of squats. I just want you to think about using that hinge, sitting back on your heels, and anytime that you're squatting down, find a chair, find some kind of target to sit back onto to really help to reinforce that technique. Kind of gives you sort of an emphasis, a target to sit back onto, and a reason to use your hips as opposed to the knees. And that is your Peak Fitness Counterpoint segment of the week.